Hey, in this video, I'm going to show you how to get your games onto Glitch for distribution and so that users could play it and then you can make money. So users will choose to load and play your game on Glitch. When your game loads, it loads inside an encapsulation such as an iframe or another widget. So here, this game is loaded inside this iframe. We pass to your game an install ID, and this install ID is located right here. What happens is you have to send this install ID back to our servers, and then that's how we log that a user is actively playing your game. Implementing this install ID is actually really easy to do. We're going to look at the deploy and the integration, and let's start with the integration first. So there's an easy way, there's a hard way. We're going to start with the easy way that actually takes no code whatsoever. So it starts with you first creating a new token for your game. So this is the token for your game, and this is the ID of your game. Now, coming down here to the no-code solution, we have actually GitHub libraries for Unreal, Unity, Godot, game makers, and others. But we're going to focus here just on Unity, but they pretty much all work the exact same. And each one has its own repository with instructions on how to implement. Remember that we support plugins and extensions for all the major engines. But just using Unity as an example here, you would come to the package manager, you would choose to add it package from the Git URL, you would paste our GitHub account for Unity in there, and it will download and install the package through Git. So after the package has been installed, I go to my project settings, and here's my Glitch Gaming information right here. So I can come right back to the title ID, copy it, and paste it in, and I can come back to our token. I can copy and paste that in, and I'm done. That's pretty much all it takes. And again, it's the same for also Godot and Unreal. It's really easy to do this. So after that is done, we then want to deploy the game. So we're going to click on deploy a build. Now we support Unity, Godot, Unreal, JavaScript, and Node. Again, this was Unity, but every single one of these comes with an actual video you can watch, and it comes with instructions too on how to do the export. So for Unity, you want to build and run the game. So we're going to go to build settings, make sure WebGL is enabled, and we can go to build and run, and it will create the build inside a folder for us. So after Unity is done building your game will typically launch in a browser such as this for you to test. Again, same for Godot and Unreal as well. They all pretty much work the same. Now we need to deploy this. So deploy scripts are typically zipped up. So I'm just going to copy this zip command here. Then what I do is I navigate to my folder that has all my build files for the web version. And I just run the zip command, and it will zip everything up for me that I can use then to upload next. So back at the upload page, I choose a version that I want for the game. I choose the main index file for the game will exist. I choose whether this is the main game, a beta, or a demo. And then for Unity/Godot, this is WASM, but it differs for each type. And then finally, I select the file. Once the file has been selected, I simply start the deployment process. Once the build is done, it will then process, and once it's done processing, the game can go live, and that's pretty much it. Now, if you wanted the more advanced version, we can start to scroll down here, and this will actually go into how the system actually works. And we'll use a different game, and we're going to use a node game to show you how this part works. So like I was saying before, it all works upon an install ID that's being passed into your game, and then you send that install ID back to us every 60 seconds, and that's how we end up logging time, but also adding protection to your game as well. Starting off with this node game here, we have a title ID and a title token. Yes, this is a different title ID, but the same concept is going to apply here. Now over on this page, we have this request right here, which is getting the install ID from the URL. Remember, this install ID will be passed inside the iframe in all URLs. Your code has to grab it here, And then we are going to send that install ID to this route, which back in the documentation is this route here. Now, to call this route, you need to pass your auth token and need to also pass the install ID and the platform that it's currently coming from, in this case, which is web. Now, so if you go back here, that's exactly what we're doing. We are calling the title ID. We are passing the auth token in right here for the endpoint, and then we are taking the install ID and assigning to this variable the platform's web. Then we call this code every 60 seconds, and that lets us know that the player is still actively playing this game. And that is how you end up making money, is by people actually continuing to play the game and calling this endpoint several times. And again, we will offer code examples too for how this works in each language. If you want to do this more advanced route, that you can have a little bit more customization to it. And finally, with this advanced route, we have a security layer here that's called validate. And what it will do, it will take that install ID and make sure that the person is actually either paid for the game or is currently playing a demo before it shuts them out. And how the validation works, if it is a valid user, you will get back this response. And if they are not a valid user, you will get back a failure response that you can then process on your end to shut them out. So how that looks in the code, again, we're just grabbing an install ID that's passing the URL, and then we're going to call the endpoint for validate, which is the same endpoint here. And we're going to pass in the install ID in the URL for the validate, and we have to use the token, and then we'll get back a response if that user is valid or not. And that is how you implement this more advanced feature here for testing out if their user is valid or not. And you come down here, you could actually, if you want to, you could run execution code to see what the request to the API will look like, and then what the responses the API will give you, so you have a clear understanding of what you'll be sending and receiving back.